Sandra, and today I will be talking about how it feels to live without a roommate and if there are any effects when not living with one. First, I want to talk about the sources that compare living by yourself and what it's like living with your roommate. The Compass Academic states, living alone lets you truly have control over your living space and comfort. It also talks about having fewer distractions when living alone. It does state, however, that you do have more responsibilities, and usually roommates would share that. The source that goes on to talk about what having a roommate can benefit you in. You build relationships with people, you all have shared responsibilities, and overall less loneliness. Now I will be interviewing some people and asking them even more questions to get a better understanding of my main question.
Hello, my name is Brandon. I'm a second year student here at Texas Tech, and I will be sharing my experience living with a roommate.
My first question is going to be, do you feel like you had enough space living with the roommate?
Yeah, me personally, I think I had enough space. We had our set times where one of us would be out, and then we could have the room to ourselves. It's just setting ground rules with your roommate.
Do you feel like that has changed now that you live off campus?
Well, it's definitely been better. We have more space now since off campus we have our own rooms. We just share the living area, the common area, but it's still the same. Just respect each other's boundaries.
My second question is going to be, do you think it's easy to keep the place clean with another person? Like your experience here on the dorms and off campus?
My experience, yeah, I had a really responsible roommate, so both of us would clean our room, usually on the weekends. And right now that I'm living in outside of campus, we all share the responsibility of keeping the apartment clean. We all clean our own rooms, so it's usually okay.
So my next question is going to be, did you find it hard to get some alone time or like some quiet time living here with the roommate?
Sometimes I did, yeah. Being there, having someone else in there, you don't really get that privacy. But as long as you talk with your roommate and let them know that you would like the room, I feel like it was okay.
And has that changed now that you're off campus?
I mean, yeah, I get all the privacy that I want in my own room, so I don't need to depend on the availability of others.
Having a roommate help you feel less lonely?
Yes. When someone else is there with you, it makes the college experience a lot easier. The transition, so you get to be with someone as if they were a sibling of yours, so you don't really feel that loneliness as opposed to not having anyone there with you.
My next question is going to be, did you ever come across any conflicts or tensions with the roommate, and if so, how did y'all deal with it?
I don't think I ever came into conflict with my roommate, but if there was a conflict, I think it would just be best to talk it over with them, make sure that you don't invalidate each other's feelings, and that come with a plan to make it okay for both of y'all.
What was your favorite part of having a roommate?
My favorite part about having a roommate, I guess I would say, is having someone like a sibling there with you. You can talk with each other, share things, it's just basically living with someone else and getting to know each other better.
Live with the roommate again in the future?
Given the choice, I don't think I would. I think I like how I'm living right now. I still have roommates, but we each have our own room, and I think that's honestly the best way to get the best of both worlds.
Now for my second interview, I will be doing something different. I will be interviewing I'm a first year student, and this second semester I didn't have a roommate, so I'll be giving my input as someone who doesn't have a roommate. based on my first semester, I did have a roommate, so it was totally different when she moved out. I had extra space where I could store stuff. It was a little less cramped in here, which was a different vibe than it was the first semester. So chores were a little more difficult, I would say. I had to do stuff that before me and my roommate would share, so like cleaning or like keeping both of our spaces clean. Now I have to keep double the space clean because I have to keep the other side clean as well, just in case I store stuff over there or anything like that. I have to keep all that stuff clean, and just those responsibilities lie more on me now, just because I'm the only one here. I feel like now that I'm alone, it is a little bit more easier to have quiet time or alone time. But even when I had a roommate, it was still very easy, just letting each other know, hey, I'm studying. Do you mind being a little quieter than usual? Or just making sure that we weren't loud for one another. But now I don't have to worry about that. I can study whenever I want. I can have quiet time, or I can have any alone time now that I'm alone. Roommate does get lonely a lot. Living on your own is kind of different and something new that I wasn't used to. But having a roommate my first semester was very different. I had someone to come home and talk to and tell her about my day. Like, I almost felt like I was making a new friend, and we were very close, which was hard when she moved out. I had to kind of look for more friends outside of my dorm, or look for clubs that I want to do, or just stuff that would help me make more and more friends. So it was harder just because she was my first friend when I got here, and we would talk about stuff, so it does get lonely in my dorm now. Just the privacy you have. You have so much more privacy and so much more room living in the Wingmid dorms, which is where I live. You have so much more room to store things. It did, when I had my roommate, it did get a little crammed in here. We couldn't fit everything into here, so it did look very small. And now that I'm living on my own, there's a lot more space, and it does not look that cramped, which was one of my favorite things. I just had more space to myself. It didn't feel as cluttered in here as when I did have a roommate. But yeah, that was my favorite thing, as well as the privacy. I have more privacy to myself, and I can kind of do things that I wouldn't feel comfortable with the roommate doing. I could have quiet time. I could have my music playing a little louder than I did when having a roommate. So it just, you have that comfortability to do whatever you want, but still reminding that there are people next door. I personally like living with a roommate, just because I do get lonely, like I said. It is ideal sometimes to live alone, but I do say that it's easier for me to live with someone else. So I do feel like it is something personal. It depends on each person, who they want to live with, or who they want to live without, if that's a choice that they want to make. I just do feel like we have to consider several things when living alone. Just safety reasons, chore reasons. Chore wise, you do have a lot more stuff relying on you. Safety reasons, just because you are living alone, just to remind yourself, I can't be coming home too late just because it's just me. I don't have anybody else here. I would say was one of my concerns living alone. And yeah. This now concludes my multimodal project. This does answer some of the questions that I was investigating, and it also gave me another perspective as to how it is living off campus. With my previous interview, we discovered what he felt like living here his first year, but also how that coordinated to living off campus. And that's the end of my video.